The US government has shut down with no resolution in sight between President Trump's Republicans and Democrats. So what does this shutdown mean? Why does it happen? Let's break down for you what a government shutdown is actually and its impact on US, also its impact on India. A US government shutdown occurs when Congress fails to pass funding bills for the new fiscal year. And so obviously without funding, non-essential services halt. During this shutdown, nearly 4 million federal employees, including civilians and military staff, face delayed paychecks, straining households. And then there's essential workers like air traffic controllers, border agents, Coast Guard personnel. They must continue working without immediate pay, though there have been protests and in some instances a shutdown even in essential services. National parks, museums, immigration hearings, federal loans, grant programs, all stalled. Social Security, Medicare continue, but there is slower processing there too due to staffing shortages. So you can imagine how America has been crippled. It's not the first time, however, that this has happened. US shutdowns began in 1980 after the then Attorney General had issued a legal opinion requiring agencies to halt operations during funding gaps. Since then, there have been 11 shutdowns in America, including the 35-day 2018-2019 shutdown under Trump then too over a border wall dispute. So what does this mean for America? Well, economically, shutdowns sap the momentum. The 2013 shutdown cost $24 billion and it cut GDP growth by 0.6%. Extended interruptions reduce spending by workers and contractors, affecting local businesses. Analysts estimate that each additional work trims about 0.1% of GDP, making prolonged shutdowns increasingly damaging to both individuals and the broader economy. So can it lead to recession? Well, while markets usually remain steady initially, obviously prolonged shutdowns can strain the economy. Up to 750,000 workers may be furloughed, losing about $400 million daily, and that reduces household expenses. Investment risks could slow economic momentum, potentially tipping US into mild recession, and this is what experts warn of. But as far as India goes, does this impact us? Well, a US shutdown combined with the tariff shocks of late does pose economic challenges, requiring very careful management right now. And prolonged US disruptions could weaken investor sentiment, pressure the rupee, influence capital flows and trade, and therefore indirectly affect India's growth outlook. Investors are urged right now to watch US fiscal developments closely, as extended disruptions may shape global market trends and ripple into India's economy as well. So what are we seeing currently? When will the shutdown end? Well, it ends when the Congress passes new funding bills and the president signs them. At this point, President Trump can't do anything on his own. He alone cannot reopen his government. He needs the support of Democrats to do that.